Welcome to another episode of Golf Parenting 101, the podcast that provides valuable information and guidance to parents of young golfers. In this episode, we are talking about sports science and at what stage of a junior golfer's life should parents and coaches begin applying it through physical training. Golf used to be considered a sport that required less physical exertion when compared to other sports. But in recent times, modern golfers and coaches have realized that physical conditioning plays a pivotal role in achieving top performance. Sports science and golf advanced significantly in the last few years and continues to do so. It's the reason why Baker Golf has joined forces with Fit to Par and made it an integral part of our player development program. Utilizing advanced technology, we can thoroughly analyze the movements and mechanics of young golfers, enabling us to pinpoint and address any flaws or inefficiencies. This week on Golf Parenting 101, I have the pleasure of introducing Henry Mudge and Richard Spangenberg from Fit to Par, who together create customized strength, flexibility, and endurance training programs for golfers. Their programs are tailored to meet the specific needs of each golfer, enabling them to generate more power, maintain better posture for better ball striking, and importantly, avoid injuries. Henry and Richard, welcome to Golf Parenting 101, and thank you for taking the time to give us an inside look into training young golfers.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Henry, give us an idea when a parent brings their youngster to you. What is the process that you follow when they want their child to go through physical conditioning?
So before we start to build a program, we need to go through an assessment first. So we put them through a test, testing their mobility, their strength, and their endurance. And then from that on, we build and work on their limitations and figure out what they need, where they need to get stronger, where they need to get more mobile. And then we specialize a program for them, which we then do with them every time we see them. That's how the process works when they arrive here.
I have some questions that I'd like to discuss with you both. And first off, I want to know, when should a young golfer begin gym training? Can it be too early?
Well, from my point of view is I would say as soon as possible. That's always going to be the answer to get kids active and going. But generally for the type of training that we're looking at for golf fitness training, I'd say from the age 7 to 9 years old, kids can start looking at a golf specific fitness training program.
When it comes down to junior golfers, how does introducing physical fitness and strength training at a young age benefit them?
So golf has changed over the last couple of years. The golfers are beginning to get a lot more athletic. If you look at back in the days, Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer and them differ a lot to the new guys like Tiger Woods, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau. They're a lot more rounded athletes and athletes rather than just golfers. Golf is a game of longevity. We want to play it up until we're 80 years old. So we want to start looking at our bodies from a young age, building the necessary strength and the necessary mobility to keep it healthy for our entire career. The earlier the juniors get in, the earlier you can start working on the strength. I know strength takes a lot of time to build. It's not something you build in a couple of years, just a year or two. So the earlier you start with that, the more strength you'll have earlier, and that makes swinging the club a lot easier. And as well as mobility. I've worked with some swing coaches and they try to get you into a position and you struggle with it. Meanwhile, it's actually a limitation in your body and you just don't know about it. So the sooner you get to someone that can point that out and work on that, the sooner you can get your swing looking good and performing easily. It's all about swinging the club in the easiest way possible for your body. So the sooner you smooth out those limitations, the better you'll swing the club, and the easier the sport will get. So for juniors, I think it's harder to build your body and to work on your body the older you get. So it's great to start at the junior level. Start working on that and making it easier for yourself to perform good.
Yeah, I think from a coaching perspective, kids start them young, start building or bending the little tree, as they say. Start doing that at a young age. That will help them not pick up any bad habits, bad form, bad technique. It is a huge challenge for any coach to try and fix bad technique or bad form. So it's the same with the fitness program. If I get somebody in and I've got a technical movement that I need to learn, and they've got bad habits and poor form or poor technique, it's a lot more difficult and it takes a lot longer to fix that before you can actually start doing something. So if we get kids in at an early age, teach them proper technique, teach them proper form, there's also a lot less chance for injury and to build their swing from there on.
What do you see as risks and concerns that parents should be aware of when they introduce their child to gym workouts for golf?
There's not major risks and concerns. I know a lot of parents still, there's this misconception about growth plates. Growth plates is not really so prevalent in kids training at a young age, but that's just one of the things that we can look at.
Yeah, and I would say a risk is not of taking a kid to the wrong coaches or trainers, or not having them at a trainer at all. That gets risky because you're young, you don't really know what you're doing, and then you hurt yourself. So as long as there's good supervision with a good program, I would say there's no real risk in a program like that for juniors.
Yeah. When we start with training for young kids, we try not to emphasize or try not to place too much stress on the kids. That's can be one of the factors where kids place a lot of stress on themselves for wanting to perform a certain way. But if they start with training at a young age with somebody that's really in a position where they care for the athlete, then the coach can manage that stress and alleviate it, and in that way create a much better training environment.
What would be the difference between a young golfer's and an adult golfer's training regimen regarding the intensity, exercise, and the duration?
Yeah, there's a big difference in the duration. So whereas an adult golfer, we can keep an adult golfer busy for roughly 45 minutes to an hour, just because of their muscle endurance, their focus, their attention span is a lot longer. Intensity will also be a little bit more. Whereas kids for younger age, we try and keep them busy in a different way, so to speak, but anything 30 minutes to 45 minutes is sufficient. And the volume of the training will build up slowly but surely as they progress, as they get older. Whereas an older person, you can start with a slightly higher volume, slightly more intense, and the duration of the workouts are slightly longer. But for kids, generally, just eating a little bit less than for adults.
Please explain to myself and the parents why you see proper supervision as being important for safe and effective gym training for young golfers.
Injury prevention, that's one of the biggest reasons, and it's always good to have an external eye, but not just any external eye, somebody with experience and qualifications. If I see somebody move in a pattern or a movement that they shouldn't be, because I can see from the outside they are going to hurt themselves, or they're executing the movement not in the correct way, it's very important for an experienced and educated or coach to have a look at them. the way you perform an exercise is either going to make you better or you're not going to have any effect from it. So we make sure that when we say you do a movement, that you do it in the right way so that it is as effective as it can be. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time and you're wasting your money. And not to be biased, but we see that a lot when people train on their own. They go to the gym or they go to some training facility and they feel they want to improve something. For instance, if I want to hit further a golf ball, I'm not just going to swing a heavy thing and hit and try and improve my swing that way. I'm going to look at all my limitations at my body and my physical ability, because it's not just the swing that you need to improve to hit further, for instance. It is your core muscles. It is your how you move, your mobility. Can you get into good positions or not? So it's very important to have a coach help you get to your goal sooner.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like golf. I mean, we can't think that we're gonna get better without someone helping us.
Golfers have caddies.
And good coaches. So yeah, it's like anything in life. You need to be open to a coach, and yeah, they'll get you there much faster and further than on your own.
Lastly, are there any common misconceptions or myths about gym training for junior golfers that you'd like to debunk?
We do have a few, actually. The one myth is, you've already touched on it, that junior golfers should train like adults. But because they're kids, you're going to treat them differently. The intensity and the volume and the duration of the exercise is going to be different. There's a myth that weightlifting is the only effective gym training for kids, but weightlifting is just one aspect of training. Mobility is really important. Proprioception, or your body awareness or kinesthetic awareness of your body, is as important, and that's not developed with heavy weights and stuff like that. It is developed with other movements. There's another myth that only elite golfers need training, but I don't think that's true, because everybody that does some kind of physical activity are going to use their body, and they need to learn how to apply their body, or how to use their body in the correct way and fashion.
Yeah, another one is that gym training for young golfers are just based around getting bigger and getting strong and getting bulky, and yeah, that's not true at all. There's so many more facets that you look at and so many aspects that you focus on. So it's not about just squatting and deadlifting and bench pressing 100 kgs and getting big and strong. That's not going to get you anywhere. So you want to have a very specific way of training, working on the movements needed and on your limitations. So yeah, that's a big myth. And another one is that gym training is going to affect your performance because you're going to be stiff all the time. That's not true at all. You need to harden your body. Yeah, sometimes you're going to be sore, but it's not in a way that it's going to affect your golf performance. So yeah, that's one of the biggest myths that I've heard as a golfer myself. When I tell someone that I gym and do specific training for golf, they ask me, but aren't you too stiff and too sore to play? And yeah, I think that's not true at all.
Henry and Rekha, tell the viewers and listeners how to get in touch with you at Fit to Par so that you can discuss the correct training programs for the young golfer.
So we have an Instagram page. It's Fit to Par. And yeah, on there you'll find our email and phone number that you can WhatsApp at any time. I'll get back to you as soon as I get it. And yeah, get in touch with us, ask questions if you have any questions. We'll be having a lot of content now to show a bit more of what we're doing. And yeah, get in touch with us and see how we can help you play better.
So So what we get from today's podcast is that parents must seek advice from a certified golf coach and fitness trainer who specialize in training young golfers before enrolling their child in a gym training program. These professionals can evaluate the child's physical development and skill level to determine whether they are prepared for gym training. It is essential to prioritize the child's safety and well-being, and therefore the training program should be age appropriate, it's got to be strength and ability appropriate, as well as supervised by qualified experts. Thank you to my guests, Henry Mudge and Richard Swanenberg. This is a subject that has many topics within a topic, so we will be seeing a lot more of them on future Golf Parenting 101 podcasts.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
To find out more about my player development coaching program, as well as my gap year solution, contact me at owen@bakergolf.co.za. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, feel free to reach out. Until next time, keep supporting your young golfers on their journey to success. We'll see you next week with a brand new podcast. I'm Owen Baker, and I'm happy to help.